Once again, welcome back to Tales of Symphonia. We're at part 27.
Oof, 27, that's a magical number.
And we're still barely halfway through the game. Johnny's gonna really get pissed at this. So, last time we left off, Zealous betrayed the Pope, and now, for siding with half-elves, and now we gotta find our way into the city. And go figure out how we're doing this one, folks. You guessed it, the traditional sewer level!
Oh.
I know. Exciting as to finding out you have colon cancer.
This coffee just got so bitter.
It'll always bitter. It could take the wind out of my sails any day. This is a pretty good way of sneaking in. Lloyd, it's a fucking sewer.
Right.
They're never good ideas.
A bit of a recap since last week. The Pope betrayed Zealous.
Well, technically we betrayed the Pope in a sense because Zealous was set to keep tabs on us, but the Pope was really just sort of scheming to get rid of Zealous to begin with, so he figured kill two birds with one stone on this one.
Any particular reason? Just power?
Power.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
He wants to be the chosen Pope.
No, he wants to be the king. The Pope wants to be the king. Zealous is in his way. And so he begins the obligatory sewer level. Ah.
Alright, so what are our enemies looking like besides rats and Hershey bars?
No. Rats, snakes, things you would flush down a toilet, including jellyfishes.
Alligators?
No. Would have been cool. All your magic's good here, so you ain't gotta worry about that. That was Sheena's effect kicking in, where I could just bypass a battle, but I want to fight, goddammit.
Sheena, stop that.
Shit, I'm fucking bloodthirsty at times.
I was gonna ask you what that rim was.
The
so
what?
You can afford to bypass. With Sheena's ability, you can afford to bypass a monster one time, but if you backtrack, obviously, you can initiate.
Well, sometimes, yeah. Like, sometimes you can backtrack and avoid them, sometimes you can run through them multiple times and fucking not fight them.
Oh, okay.
I usually go for the violence anyway, but it's a nice ability to have if you're trying to do a low-level game. Stalagmite. Ouch. Good. T-Techs are pretty good here for Genus anyway.
We've seen that move in action earlier in parts.
Right.
But, now we're the ones initiating it.
And I love it. Here comes Spread. It's pretty good. Like I said, the T-Techs give him more range, which I personally enjoy. I switch around my techs for the hell of it.
Yeah.
But that's really not spectacular here. I would recommend ground techs more so than air, unless you're going to use Tiger Blade like I'm about to use eventually. I just use Tiger Rage because I want to try to get something else for it. Anyway, the giant leeches and violent vipers are unique enemies that you might want to pay attention to because they can poison you. Poison is a big thing in this dungeon.
I figured that makes sense, sewers.
So what you're going to want is you're going to want Rain on standby because she could use her healing magic to get rid of it if you needed to. But if you don't want to take time away from her, you can also use Panacea bottles, which the dungeon here drops in gratuitous amounts, which will heal the poison as well.
Do you think they do that in a gameplay sense just to not aggravate the fuck out of you?
Yeah.
Give the enemies item drops of something they inflict constantly in this dungeon
To prevent the risk of dead game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also start cooking up some fruit cocktails here, which is one of my favorite dishes in the game because fruit cocktails can be made with any amount of fruits you have. So you can usually use any sort of combination of fruits you can find and restore a large amount of TP. The catch is, however, is that you're going to run out of fruits quickly that way. So just mind yourself a bit with them. Anyway, here in the sewers, we get even smaller because that's another gimmick I fucking love. Shrinking.
Tiny, huge sewer.
Tiny, huge sewer. Exactly. That's the name of the part. Tiny, huge sewer.
Okay, I can do it.
Now, the squares here that we've been seeing return us to normal. Thank you, Rain.
With no physical repercussions whatsoever.
Yeah, tell me about it. It's just probably one really big... I would imagine I would at least void my bowels. And Lloyd gives us a tutorial, but we can't go up the stairs with it, as I demonstrate here.
What?
The stairs are too big.
We can't hop?
Here's also something interesting, too. When you're small, these are the only enemies you'll encounter. Giant sewer rats. These are also, I think, two separate entities, so get them both in for your own.
So because because you're tiny and they're bigger, obviously, do they get the appropriate stat buffs?
There's no real stat buffs they get. It's just, well, I don't think they get real stat buffs per se. They're just bigger, so they can hit heavier. That's about hit like in a larger radius. I think that's about it. And per se, it just chops its fucking leg off. Love my little axe fighter there. And I found the memory gem of the dungeon. By the way, you also move at a fucking snail's pace. So
Yeah.
when you don't need to be big.
It's
And
that
Lloyd
tall,
goes
a
rat
drop.
squishing. Nice, there are nice few treasures to find here. I noticed that I can't get through there because I'm missing something. I try to go this way, just to show something off.
Oh, so you can shrink at will with the sorcerer ring.
Right. Catches, however, that would I think would be per se of finding food. I think anyway. There's a chest down there. Why am I not getting? Oh, that's right. I go back for the chest later.
Hey, that's a smart idea. You find food, shrink. Suddenly you can.
Would
feed
you
the whole
really
family.
eat anything out of a sewer level, bro?
No, I'm saying you find. Well, okay,
We're
that's.
saying that's not a Hershey bar.
That's a different issue entirely. But you know, you find some food and shrink down. You feed the whole family.
Exactly. That would be wonderful. Too bad we don't think about it. Because I think your inventory shrinks with you. That's an EX3 gem, one of my personal favorites. Now I try to keep Lloyd a bit balanced here between S and T because what he has right now is what I want. Just plain old life up, and I'm grateful for that. I don't give him the add combo art, which will just give him one extra hit in his combo string. If you do like a thrust slash, or is it slash, thrust slash, double slash, it's effectively a 5-hit combination.
So effectively, the higher level the EX gem, the
better
better
the
the
abilities.
ability. Yeah.
Right, and the more unique they get too.
Yeah.
Especially with level 4. Anyway, Zelos here explains to the naive Silveranti what a trash compactor is. But here's the key word. Blocks. Yep, you know where that is.
This game has a fucking hard-on with cubes.
Oh yeah. I think I read somewhere once that the lead developer's favorite game was Intelligence Cube. Loved it.
Yeah, I recall you mentioning that in an earlier part.
You also recall that was a lie.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's a lot of things I need to start recalling fucking cubes.
I want to be fucking surprised though. Now here's the thing with this thing. Here's the thing about this dungeon. You gotta find the right places to shove these little bastards. Because if you shove it in the wrong area, like I think I'm about to do here, splut.
Wow. Thing is not very heavy at all. It falls down that slowly.
Right. Well, it's heavy. It's just not dense. I have a feeling I just bastardized physics in every sense of the word, but I am terrible at physics.
I didn't want to say anything. I'm sorry.
What can I say? I'm terrible at physics. So there are some rocks, I think. Although there are some substances that are like just large.
I never
size.
heard of a heavy object that wasn't dense.
I think that's what malleable objects are. By the way, there's also cracks in the wall, which I'm not showing off here for some reason yet, but I will show it off soon. Basically, if you pay attention to the walls, like the little areas, kind of like Mega Man Legends, you'll see holes in the wall. You can shrink down and clean some goodies in there. Although one of them is really absurd. I would like to find out how they fit a fucking gigantic battle axe in one of them.
I think I know which one you're talking about, too.
Right.
And it's like way off camera. Like, you have to know the level design particularly to find that one. Or you can find it by complete accident.
Finding of accidents, but the spice of life of these kind of games. See? I just found a colossal battle axe for Rosea in a fucking hole in the wall.
It only takes shape when you touch it. Hey, nothing really surprises me. We have the ability to shrink our size at will with a damn ring.
So you're just willing to throw it? Okay. So
Yeah,
what? Somebody...
Why can't a battle axe be inside a crack in a wall?
Because the battle axe can't be outfitted with a sorcerer's ring.
Maybe it was shrunken by someone with a sorcerer's ring.
How do you know that? There was only one sorcerer's ring
Let's
that we found.
say someone was holding the battle axe, shrunk themselves with the sorcerer's ring, planted the battle axe inside the crack in a hole, walked out, and then re-enlarged themselves.
Why would they do that if they needed the axe to defend themselves?
Fuck you, sewers!
Because fuck you, sewers.
The sewers fumes are getting into their heads.
The sewer fumes got to their heads. I'll accept that answer. Sewer fumes got to their heads. Apparently, we're willing to shove in a gas leak subplot to Symphonia. Why not?
Some sort of environmental message somewhere in there.
Oh, that's one thing Tales games are notorious for. Which, ironically enough, is where Vesperia kind of gets shit on. Because Vesperia, as far as my understanding goes, they start off with a debate between vigilantism, justice, and eventually devolves into a fucking environmental message. Like, what?
Is it the message itself or the subtlety?
The message itself. Tales games, one thing I'm appreciative for with this and the Persona series kind of does it is don't be so subtle sometimes, especially if you're trying to be satirical about it. Because when you're trying to be subtle or satirical, you kind of either end up sending the point right over the heads, and they end up missing the point you're trying to convey.
That's if you're too subtle, anyway. I don't like it when they're not very subtle, when they just it's like taking a sledgehammer to the face.
I'd rather a sledgehammer in the face.
No, I'd rather it be just subtle enough so that it gets you thinking about it and not so much, okay, I get it.
Well, no, because then then thematics get whiffed. You may go, okay, I get it. Others will go, oh.
Nah, I don't like it when it patronizes audiences.
Sometimes, it depends on, however, what your audience is. Some audiences will be like, okay, I get it, but then you got others that are going, duh. Yeah. Why am I not going after that chest? I'll probably have a reason for it.
It's tacky.
Now, I stopped one recording here, and I had to actually do something unique this time, in which I had to do a second recording, because I got lost my first going to sewers, and I was like, ah.
I figured that's why you stopped the end of this session in the
Right.
middle of a dungeon.
Because I ran out of time the first time around.
You were running close to the 2-hour mark, that's true.
Right. The second time was when I started, I got lost in this one sewer park because I was trying to remember what the hell I was supposed to do. By the time I figured it out, 30 minutes had passed. So I was like, ah, fuck this shit. Chucked it, then I redid the dungeon. I redid this part of the dungeon. You can't use the box to go back, so you're gonna have to just hop across.
What, is the sewer have like a current system? That's why it's dragging the
Yeah.
box? Yeah, okay, I figured. Well, that makes sense, so. Can't use the apple core as an ore.
No? Would have been a really creative use of Lloyd's two swords.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Which one?
Someone's gonna have to go out and kick.
I nominate Zealous.
You whore.
The whore. You're already dirty enough. What's a little sewer water?
Yeah.
Now here's something I call padding. The dungeon has really got a hard on for you trying to find your way around using the sorcerer's ring. So here's what you got to do: push the block toward one end, shrink so you can walk over this, pull it out, shrink again, go all the way back around so you can push it. That's padding.
Yeah, I don't see the point of that.
No, they do. They have a hard on for a tiny, huge island. Sewer. Now
It's not what I would call a unique puzzle element to block pushing. What were you saying?
None. Now here's the thing, though. There's more blocks to push, but until you go and investigate the area that you push the block into, no more spider webs will be produced. So go ahead and you'll have to go and immediately search out the puzzle element in question.
So you can't jump the gun.
Right.
There's probably a reason for that.
Yeah, padding.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I guess that's.
Now you can't get. Now you have to shrink to get into here, and then step on the switch. And then, no, first you open that up. My bad. Because what you're supposed to do is you got to get a block onto this switch here, so you can get that over there. Problem is, pressure sensitive.
So we gotta find a block to push in there.
I'm convinced we're really taking the entire back road to the sewer dungeon. Because, alright, by the way, I also decided to slap on omelet for cooking purposes. Because omelets will allow you to, like, heal the poison.
They cure poison? What are in those eggs?
Deliciousness. I still haven't gotten any new titles results yet, but that'll change by near the end of the game. This is his Alvin costume from Tales of Celia. I call it Celia, but I know I'm wrong. It's foreshadowing.
Was Alvin also a man whore?
Oh! No. Hey, now we got new spider webs. What a convenience. Plot spiders.
Yeah. You may now proceed.
I'm imagining right as you said that, there's a spider just crossing its arms with a smile on its face going, "You did good, Lloyd.
In a business suit.
You did good." A business suit?
Yeah, in a business suit.
Fuck it. Makes it look classy. So now I've run out of things to talk about, and the sewer dungeon is still here. Boring. Any plot elements you want to talk about, Johnny?
Not so much plot elements. I'd rather save those for when we get into more plot elements to begin with. It's just that, look, this is a point against the game just from a visual standpoint, and I don't think my opinion would change the moment I actually get to this area. But I think this game is a little too heavy on the block pushing shit. Now, I've hit towards that earlier parts, but it's like this game loves blocks but wants to do nothing else with dungeon elements. You know, Tale of Symphonia is one of those that are considered one of the better Symphonia games, one of the better Tales of games, but it's not considered the best. Is it? I'm not sure.
Whenever you do a Tales game, you generally go... If you wanted to start with a Tales game, you usually go as late as you can, because when you get, like, better elements of stuff in your games,
yeah,
you end up with, like, archaic elements. Like, Symphonia is really dated by current Tales standards.
Yes.
But honestly, considering that later Tales games just have you run through dungeons instead and do nothing else with them aside from being set pieces, I welcome the block. I don't mind the block pushing. Yeah. Like I said, it's nothing I'm super crazy about, but it really doesn't kill me.
I'm more irked that it's like one of the only things we do in dungeons, block pushing. You know, if you're not pushing from...
Well, the Lightning Temple will change that.
The Lightning Temple is also like 50 minutes long.
Yeah.
More on that later.
Well, what else was there? There was the fire dungeon where we lit up torches. There was the water dungeon where we filled up water or set pillars on fire. Block pushing is dominant, but I wouldn't say it's the all-encompassing.
Well, it's not just... It's dominant, but they also tend to be the longest puzzles. Because you have to push them in a specific area. Your block pushing speed is not exactly fast. It just tends to feel long.
Then again, it's like I'm pushing a block. I'm not really doing anything complex.
Yeah, I know, Matt. It's just that there's so much of it.
With that said,
and again, that's just what
plot spider.
That's what I'm saying as someone who's looking at the game.
Block 3. Like I said, I'm out of things to talk about.
Such riveting block pushing gameplay here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. It's not a pain to do, but goddamn, when you're watching it, you're just wondering why the hell this game gets love. I think it kind of undersells Symphonia's dungeons a bit, though, because there's more to the there are, in fact, more to the dungeons than simple block pushing. It's just that what you see a lot of, and then it's just something you see a lot of, but it's not like all-encompassing, because there's more dungeons later on in the game that don't involve blocks at all with their own puzzle elements.
And I'll take your word for that. You know, you're the one playing this game the most. It's just that, like, we're 16 hours in and I'm fucking sick of the block pushing.
There's still more blocks to push. I'm not completely invalidating you, because you're right, there are quite a few block puzzles, more block puzzles in its own merit, but it's like I said, it's just there's more to it than block pushing. You wouldn't know that by watching the parts so far, but there is.
Yeah, we just have to wait.
In a way, I just wish Symphonia was a little more confident in their own decisions to do things with the dungeons as well, rather than just relying on the block pushing to fill, like, the creator's block.
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying earlier.
Right.
And then you shot that down.
Oops.
And you just said that yourself.
I guess I like it better when it comes from my mouth.
Hey, fuck you, I'm right. God, it's like trying to fit a fucking couch inside a small doorway.
Christ, I had my fun with that over the week. So if the chosen's journey regeneration fails, Lloyd has a future in furniture moving. Because you sure as hell know he's not. Quantum physics isn't in his future. And I fucked up. Not.
Hey, color me impressed that he can actually, like, pull the blocks without having to grab anything from the outer edge of it.
Huh?
You gotta have, you know, I imagine like
X-Spheres.
No, okay. If we're just gonna go for the whole aliens answer,
dude.
X-Spheres.
You think this is bad? Watch. You think this is bad? Wait till we eventually do Tales of the Abyss. How did this happen? Phonons did it. But Phonons did it. But that makes no. Phonons did it. So how come Luke doesn't like seafood? Phonons did it.
that? What'd you get from here?
Yeah, actually, I'm level 1. I'm keeping Zealous around the T-type for a while longer because I like him to be a bit more quicker than I would normally with my other Magic Knight.
Are you unable to run one small?
No, you're small compared to the dungeon's hugeness in like scale. So you are running when you're small. It's just the area is really fucking big.
Well, it looks like you were just walking really fast.
That's because no, like I said, you are running, but when you shrink, the dungeon size is a lot bigger when you're smaller. So you're not covering as much in this
I was simply
step.
questioning animation because it looked like.
Oh, animation-wise?
Yeah, 'cause it looked like you weren't running. It looked like you were just walking really fast.
That's what it looks like in animation, but it's a way to convey it. In other words, through even though the animation is a bit limited for what it's worth, I honestly see what they were trying to convey with it. Huzzah! That right there is our golden shiny door of hope.
Oh, thank God you said golden shiny door.
And Persea finds another Hershey bar. The sewers are just about done, ladies and gentlemen. I try to book it out here as fast as I can. Which is why I'm not fighting any more rats. That and Lloyd's shoes will never get the rat out.
Among other things.
Yeah. Now this part's straightforward, so you ain't gotta worry about it too much.
I mean, isn't it like that though with like a lot of other games too? Like, there's just one big room where all the fucking puzzle elements are placed inside it, and then once you finally get that door open, you know, you're at the home stretch.
Castlevania Lords of Shadow. Now, I off-screened it for you guys because I was kind of lazy about it, but I did manage to go back for those 2 chests in the dungeon at one point. That's when you go down and shrink and find this little treasure in the hole.
So you're able to find that because of the prompt.
Right. Just hug a wall and there you go. The Thunderbolt is a weapon for Genus. Thunder Elemental, 403 attack strength.
It's a weird tell though. I mean.
No, in other words, it's literally going. I see a hole, but I can't get into it with my current size.
See, I don't get that with the ellipses alone.
Ellipses is hold on a minute. Wait a second. Like it's a thought process. Unlike Squall, where it's just pretty much him being a jerk off.
Yeah, I would associate that more with like a question mark. You know, because 9 did that. If it wasn't a question mark, it was an exclamation point to let you know of something you can examine. Now, this is an ellipses.
Oh, ellipses can also be for pontification. Well, unless you know your thoughts are trailing off.
Yeah, they're just wandering. What do I feel like eating tonight?
Hello.
What's going on?
I sense danger.
Thank you, Persea.
Waiting for you, travelers. The Pope promised to lighten our sentences if we got rid of you.
So we're gonna hit you with
We had
sticks.
nothing personal against
Instead of serving 100 years in jail, I'll be serving 99. Oh, sweet 99.
Yeah, right. The Sisyphean jail sentence.
Alright, what are the deal with convicts here?
Now they're all the same, really. It doesn't matter what color pants they wear, so you can just beat the fuck out of them.
Are they like about as threatening as bandits?
They're as threatening as hobos with sticks. Bust out a beast there.
That's Beast? That
Yeah.
little... This seems unfair.
It really is unfair. All they can do is melee attack, that's it. They're not really supposed to be battles, so you can easily kick their asses.
Yeah, figured that.
Beast techs help on multiple boss battles, so you can like knock one down and keep them away while you deal with the other one that comes up. Like I do here. Oops.
I noticed that Colette's summoning or incantation animation is like she's doing some sort of crucifix.
It is. That's Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
Huh.
Or if you're Jewish, spectacles, testicles, wallet, watch. And here comes a Goomba Stomp. Why, hello there.
Don't move. If you move, the chosen dies. Understand?
That's a hard dilemma. That would take me
He's wearing cleats.
Think you can get away with something like this to the chosen?
Solus Zealous is rather mouthy for a hostage.
Can no longer be deemed chosen.
Plotted the destruction of the world. Huh.
Oh. Hey, Lloyd. If you abandon me
Hey, buddy.
here, I swear I'll come back to
You're
haunt
good friends
you.
with me, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Remember, bud?
Judging by my urge to abandon you.
Harsh. Heyo.
Jesus.
By the way, like I said, the designs are rather weird because if you remember what I showed you earlier, how Perseus Francisca looks like a regular axe.
Yeah.
Here they decided to reuse the old GameCube sprite for it in cutscenes, so it looks like she's wielding a baseball bat with an axe blade.
These guys are too.
Mind you, that's really fucking awesome, but it still kind of looks weird.
Looks like it's over.
Yeah, I
for
noticed
now.
your weapons aren't in real time.
Right.
Everyone still uses the default
Well,
weapons.
yes and no. Lloyd goes through 3 different transitions. He starts with the wooden blade. Once he progresses beyond a certain point, he starts using the metal swords.
Yeah.
And then after a metal sword, he'll gain a 3rd one later.
Okay. Just for that, yeah. Just for the sake of evolving.
Right. I look around for an item in the wall. There, it's not where it was.
Is it like Final Fantasy VII where the initial equipment can't be sold or traded or anywhere?
Oh no, you can totally sell the initial equipment.
Yeah.
I did that. Well, in this game, I don't mean you can do that in 7. Here you're gonna want to switch around to like front lines here between your mages and stuff like that because we have another fake battle.
Is it a mimic?
Yeah. However, remember, since Zealous has an elemental weapon equipped to him, he can do 1 damage and to keep up with the hit stun. I unfortunately cannot, so I gotta slap on some quartz. It won't matter which quartz you use as long as you can actually stun him. Unfortunately, because there we go. Only magic attacks really hurt the thing though.
Yeah, physical attacks aren't doing a goddamn thing.
Well, yeah, it is. It's stunning it, which is what you're really gonna want to buy your caster some time. Dreaded Wave, my first advanced tech in the game, and it's one of the only advanced techs Geedos will learn regardless of which tech tree he's on. It's basically a lot of earth hits. Pretty good stuff too. Nice little coverage for it as well.
So you're basically hitting them with physical attacks for the sake of hit stun to give your mages time to hit them with spells.
Bingo.
Thank you, Cody. I always could trust you.
I still love Photon. And Genus tries to burn him alive. And I'm wondering why the hell Zealous isn't really doing anything. Why Zealous isn't trying to heal me. I'm like, all right, I disabled that. I also take this time of all times to upgrade my unison attacks.
This bores me.
Did.
So, unison attacks how? I mean, what are you changing up?
I'm just like alternating some of the techs that are available. I'm just alternating some of the techs to help with the unison attacks. I don't use them much on the lower difficulties. On higher ups though, I swear by them. And I got my all divide.
Our second one of the game, wasn't it?
Right.
And the last one was from another mimic.
You're right.
This is the only places you can get all divides?
Yes. Well, they're the only monsters to drop them.
Ah, okay.
Anyway, if you can't progress beyond this point though if your ring is like minimized. Oh wait, never mind. I'm thinking like for some reason the hole was there. I was like, wait, that ain't right. I then try to be like super paranoid because I'm afraid of missing that chest item. But then I ultimately decided, fuck it, and I'm out.
Did you miss something?
I thought I would have, but I didn't.
Oh, okay.
Now we can go to the elemental research laboratory here.
We're back in the, we're still in Meltokyo, but we'll find out more about that for tomorrow's part, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank God we're out of the sewers. After a good shower, we'll see us for part 28.